Hey everybody, welcome back to Sideshow Con. This is day 5 and it's day 2 of our booth. Yesterday we took a look at everything in there with Amy and Jesse. Today it is the all request version of that same booth tour, but this time we're going to have Guy and Wendy here with us. They're going to be showing that to us, but first let's go over the schedule of what's going on today. In just a second. All right, so later on today, we have got a desk show where we're going to be interviewing Bernie and Danny Bell, right? Right here in the desk show. Some people are going to be coming in on camera, and some people are right here in person. We're going to be taking a look at some of the pieces there. But first, let's see what we've got going on today. All right, so this morning at 9 o'clock, we already had one flash giveaway over on our Twitter Fine Art account. We've got this booth tour now. Then at noon, we're going to do another flash giveaway on Instagram. Then at 2 p.m., we are back here at the booth, at the desk show. We're going to be doing some of those things that I mentioned before. We're going to do interviews, giveaways, rewards, trivia, all kinds of great stuff. Then at 4 o'clock, we're going to have our first panel discussion we've ever had for Sideshow New York Con, which is exciting. That's going to be a panel discussion about digital collectibles. And then if you are in New York and you're at New York Con, we are actually going to be having an in-person party at New York for fans. You can go to side.show/NYCC party to find out more about that. And then at 5 p.m. in the Facebook group, we're going to have our daily wrap-up, side.show/geek group. So, are you guys ready to take a look at the booth? If you guys are in the chats right now live, be sure to let us know what you want to see, and we're going to have these guys take a closer look at it for you. You guys ready?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Hey, first of all, let's give another round of applause to Autumn because she crushed it. Yes. Guy, I'm so excited to be here with you today. All request booth tour. We're trying to kind of keep our composure because there's a lot of goodness that's behind the both of us right now.
Yeah, and we've only had a few minutes to actually physically be in here checking this out. So it's very cool that we get to. You guys get to tell us what to go take a look at, and we are not going to mind getting to stare at this stuff for a good period of time.
Yes, and so keep that in mind that if there's anything you want to see up close, you want to know a little bit more about, let Autumn know in the chat because some of these pieces may not make an appearance tomorrow. So keep that in mind.
Now's their chance.
Yes, now is your, but let's talk about this one. This is our request. We'll kick this one off.
I think this is the one that you and I came in and went, what?
How?
And she's a magician. We know that. And I think that's kind of the fun part of what we got going on here is that I don't know how they do it, but I'm just loving the magic of it because, yes.
There is no wires,
no strings, nothing.
And there's a mirror, so you can tell there is nothing. How?
Exactly, the how in there. The mirror is going to bounce some of the light. When we talk about the light and how it hits it, let's take a look at the way in that portrait and in the hair, we're going to have that kind of satin-like black in her tuxedo top coat, but we get those hints of blue in the strands of the hair, and that's fantastic. I love the eyes and the devilish kind of, I know exactly what's going on smirk there. And when we talk about devilish, Michael, would you zoom in on our
little friend?
Now this, I believe, is the exclusive piece that has a swap out on there. I'm one who, if it says deluxe, if it says exclusive, that's the one I'm clicking.
You press purchase.
Yes, because I think it just gives you more options. Even if you're like, oh, but on a whim one day you decide this is the way you want to do it. The paint job on him.
Oh my gosh.
Incredibly creepy.
I like the differential because it's not green all the way through, so you see little tidbits of a color change, tip of the ear, tip of the nose, the
they're on the fingers. You get that wet on both the eye and the teeth. And you know, we talked about the magic and we did the whole, hey, no strings attached. We want you to see
there really is no strings
now, we also
attached.
Have mixed media on this one here. Most all of it is going to be sculpted and painted, but we do have the actual fishnet there on the leg. And this is just this is just so amazing, and I like this new. We'll call it dynamic.
Yes, I was going to say
it's
the
a very dynamic pose,
yeah.
but not necessarily in action, pose, but something very dynamic and
it's
something that
very
we've
in
not
theme.
seen.
Yes, and it's very in theme for
before.
Zatanna, absolutely. And I love all the textures, the different textures on Zatanna, from her shirt to her corset to her tights, and even to the base. Like, look at all this detail sculpture that's on the bottom.
All of the scroll work down on there, and that's kind of done in that a bit of an aged bronze look.
Yes.
And then you're gonna, as we often say on many of our shows here, make sure you got a microfiber cloth because you're gonna want to polish that mirror, and it is beautiful.
Yes.
The engineering on it, Michael, could we zoom down on the foot? Because here's what's pretty impressive. We've got a high heel, so we know it's not connected there.
Right.
Well, the shoe lifts toward the front, so it's not connected there.
Absolutely.
So it's just one area. How's it done?
It's magic.
The engineering that went into this, not only are you going to want to have this beautiful design of the figure, but to have nothing underneath, no backdrop or anything like that that holds the thing, is where they take it to someplace completely different than what we're used to seeing in statues. So we're seeing a lot of great things come out with quarter scale, premium format, and some of these larger scales, and I totally dig on that.
Yeah, this is totally next level, and I love that the use of mirror in this piece as well.
Yes, this is, you know, I've said things like conversation piece, and this is one that is going to stand out.
Yes.
If you only have one statue, obviously,
This is it.
boom. But if you have a lot, the eye is going to be drawn. The guests of your home who are coming to see your collection are definitely going to want to learn about this one and try and figure it out.
Absolutely.
And like Much Magic, you go, I don't know how they do it, I just know that it's great.
Yeah, it is great. We love her, and there is so much more to see in today's booth. So, Autumn, do we have any requests from the chat?
Oh, do we ever? Okay. So the most popular ones right out the gate were the Geralt and the Aeon Flux.
What did we say? Earlier?
We guessed.
Yes, you
we
called
guessed,
it.
and that was we're doing well. We should have
High
picked
five.
some lottery numbers. All right, well, let's walk back there. What should we check out first?
I think since this is closer to us,
Since it's
we will
closer.
go ahead and start with this one. Let me move to this side so our camera can get in much closer. This is a massive scale.
It is a huge scale, and when we look at this, for the most part, everything on here is sculpted and painted. And when I say for the most part, here in his, well, what we'll say is trophy, we do have actual, the faux hair throughout. But take a look at the chainmail, the leather, the stitch work, particularly there down in the pant leg. That's looking like actual stitched lines. And those there, just individually done like that. The harpies that he's holding are pretty wild. There is a wet look to them. This is, like I said, having the hair on there, this gives it another element.
Yes.
Anytime that you do, even if it's just a hint where, a single leather thing or a single cloth cape or something like that, that really makes it stand out. Now, we're going to take a look at the expression that we have on him. Quite stern, quite confident in this. Well, perhaps you say, I wish they had a different expression. This figure gives us a lot of options.
Let's go ahead and take a look at that.
We have 3 additional heads, 3 additional portraits that can swap out on there, and that's huge. As a 6-scale collector or a quarter-scale collector myself, one of the things I like is the ability to kind of create and tell that story.
Absolutely.
And with a statue, sometimes you go, oh, I really wish it was this way. Or I really wish and when you have something like this and those multiple options, you get to do that.
Yeah, and what I really like is that every single portrait is different, from the scars to the marking, and everything is so in detail as well. And I'm kind of partial to this one because of the facial hair as well. Kind of like the one that's already on him. But.
I gotta say, I'm definitely partial to the facial hair myself there.
You don't say.
You don't say. I like this.
The base.
We've got the egg hatching, the little hand out.
Oh my goodness.
We can see that little eye just peeking out. We get some movement in it, not only his stride and stance in this, definitely holding up the heavy harpies there because we've got him leaning backward there, but even in the flag here we get a little bit of the furl in it. Again, sculpted with that, but it does have that fabric look. There's a lot going on there from the metallics, and we get a hint of where it's from. That emblem of it is just slight. So you might have a person who comes over and is not familiar with this.
Yes.
And just goes, I don't know what that is, but that thing is amazing. And you've got that there. He's got so much going on. The amount of different metallic paints on here is pretty darn impressive. From the sword to the chainmail to on the sides to down on the base itself. There's a lot going on with it.
Even on the sword, there's details. That's in there
the
as
etching.
well. Yeah, the etching on there.
All the way down. We're making Michael do
really
a lot
work.
with the camera today, going, no, zoom closer. And he's doing this all by drone. No.
The most quietest drone ever.
It's the new silent whisper mode.
Now, earlier we were talking about Zatanna and how the engineering is really, really insane. Let's take a look at the Aeon Flux one, which is, we've inverted. Now we're upside down. We went from seating to upside down.
We're going every. I love that we're getting something like this. This is not something I would have seen coming.
Same.
I remember watching this. This was the relative early years of MTV, and this was something totally different.
Right.
The design and the look really was impressive, and I remember waiting each time to see the next episode. And this is where they've gone with the design of that. The swirl of the hair, that was so wild in the show, and to have it like that.
It's very iconic to her character.
Exactly. If I could get hair, I would do that. That would be a hairstyle I could try.
Maybe next New York Con.
Next New York Con, I'm sure they make a wig like that. I think producer Alan will probably someday get one of those for me. Look at the leather and how the light hits the leather-like boot. Now that's sculpted and painted, but the texture of it right there and down onto here. It looks
like leather.
And the folds on there, all there. And then you go over to the metallic that's going to be that hard case of her sidearm there on the side. So those, even though they're all in the dark black colors, they're different shades and different styles and different applications, giving them a very different textured look. Absolutely. The skin tone on there, they're definitely at a lot of muscle. If you're going to be able to hang upside down like that, you've probably got pretty strong abs and lower back muscles, as we see there.
I want to talk about her expression as well.
Yes.
Even though she is kind of in this, like downward dive position, her eyes are laser focused on whatever or whoever her target may be. And I just love that they really capture that in her eyes. And also very impressive that there's no hair out of place for her.
When you talk about the eye line on it, and we talk about the scale, I believe, and Autumn can correct us if we're incorrect, I believe this is a third scale.
This is a third scale?
This is a third scale, which is why it does have so much presence. But we're talking, even if I were to have this, say, on a coffee table, we're about 18 inches or more before we get to that eye line. So wherever you're at, she's looking right at you.
Yes.
And I think that's pretty darn impressive to have something like that, because that brings you into it. It connects you to the story, or connects you to the character, or makes you create that story.
Yeah, and just for reference, I think I'm going to have Guy stand over here for a second, just so you can see, because you're about 6'2", 6'1",
6'1",
and it is towering over you.
Whoosh!
Even though it is on a platform.
We're at not quite 36 inches. This will not fit in your standard IKEA small display case, which people use for 6 scales that we talk about on a lot of our shows. Not going to work for that. Get yourself a really nice coffee table. And a very nice coffee table book.
Absolutely.
Which would be great. But she is really, really impressive. What we've seen today, just two things with the the single foot over there, the inverted there.
Yeah,
the
she's
metallic
incredible.
Wherever you're going to be, as I say, if you have a coffee table or something like that, but this is a piece that you're going to want people to be able to see from many angles, because here you're getting all that, and that's what allowed us to kind of show off the boot there.
Yes.
This side here, each angle is really completely different. This is not, there's not a straight angle on any of it. There's so many of those S curves and lines.
Yeah. I am obsessed with this one. Your eyes go straight to it, but there is so much more to see in today's booth. So Autumn, what do we have next?
All right.
Get us our
There's a big
steps in.
demand to see all of the Masters of the Universe pieces. The Skeletor, the Trapjaw, He-Man, all of those.
Okay. Well, let's get to the big things first,
Yes,
shall we?
let's do it.
We're right in front of him.
This
is big.
Skeletor.
Yes. This will be my next cosplay, I guess. But as you can see, it's absolutely massive. A
Wow.
1/1 scale. There is so much going on with this. What I think is fun about Masters of the Universe is that it's constantly evolved, and people are bringing new collectors or new fans into it, and the designs stay within the realm of the character, but they can really differ. And that's what they've done with that. We've got the blue of the skin there in the neck, there on the chest. We have that bone look, but it almost has a hint of green
Yes.
to it there. And then you've got those teeth on there. And these are a dry. And what I mean by that is we're not getting that wet look that we would normally get because there's nothing to get it wet. There's no lips on this individual. But you take a look at that skull from the side. I've got this on a turntable. We're gonna spin that a little.
Go
so
ahead
Michael
and give
can
it a
get
little,
it from the side. Now that cape does have the wire in there so we can adjust, but we'll pull it back a little bit.
Yes.
That's a heck of a glare.
That
You don't want to get that glare.
You know what's interesting is we watched the show. Growing up, you watched the show, and yes, it is a frightening character, but seeing it in a life-size bust in this scale, it's a bit daunting to say. I feel like maybe you can turn it back towards you so it's not staring at me because this thing is.
Because that's frightening.
will give-
Okay,
you can look at.
I'll make direct eye contact, but then you can show if this works.
Yes. Let's take a look at the shoulder armor. I don't know the correct term for it. I just love all the individual little details and the different textures and colors. It's a little bit more kind of like leather-like almost.
Yes.
And then you have the metal to offset that.
Yeah, and all sculpted and painted, but again, Michael is doing a lot of great work with our close-ups there, but you're taking a look at that, and that is that leather texture
Yes.
on there, and that kind of pitted metal and the forging of it there on that. And now, Wendy and I are, of course, right now geeking out on this stuff, and so we're using words like super cool, and check that out. If you would like a more detailed description or more information on each of these products, below when we're talking about them, there is a short link. So you can go to any of these short links and probably get slightly better worded things than anything I'm going to come up with, because wow is my thing.
This is definitely wow. We do have this is what you call this mixed media with
let's
with
say
the
mixed
hood.
media, because you are going to have that fabric there, and I like that it's just not a solid color of the purple, that it is that weave, and there is a texture pattern to it.
And I believe it does come with a cape, but it is not shown.
Yes, we don't have the cape on here because we wanted to be able to kind of spin this around easily, and I tend to trip over capes.
Yes.
So we don't have that here, but it also allows us to show off that base. Okay, now we do have those cool colors of the purple and the blues of Skeletor, but then we're going to hint it with the warm colors of kind of that lava-esque down the base and those metals there.
It's just all the details, the sculpt of it, it is gorgeous and frightening at the same time.
Those are some great shoulder pads.
We talk about, I think I was saying this to you a little bit before the cameras went live today, and every time we step into a booth tour, I forget to budget, what it is exactly.
Yes.
Because this is also shopping for us.
Oh,
so,
Yes. You're not seeing us with our phones hitting the order now, pre-order button.
There's somebody off to the side.
Autumn at the desk does have our phones lined up and is just clicking on there.
Use the payment plan on this one, please.
Particularly the 6-scale stuff that we see. But we have more Masters of the Universe. Gray scale, gray skull. That makes sense.
Yes.
All right. I like that they've shown us this. This is yet a second Skeletor, but in the gray scale.
I love this one. Look at all the details you can see, even though it is one color.
That's what I like about what we're seeing with this. And Tweeter has been really nice to send us stuff like this. In fact, next to it, we see the colorized version of a figure that the last time they sent these gray scale. I'm obviously gray skull, gray scale.
It's
I'm having a hard
mouth
time with the two of them, but getting to see it like that is really neat because you're getting to see what the sculptor is doing. Sometimes we'll talk about when you're breaking down kind of the design and the look of a figure and something. Here's how the sculpt was, and here's how the paint was, and this and that. So to be able to see something like this, where you're just getting the design elements. Now they've kept that snake base throughout, and I'll be very curious to see how this one is painted up when they do it. But to look at a painted one, let's take a look at him.
And to take a look at Lockjaw, I just want to say I believe this is a slightly different one from yesterday as it is swapped out.
Yes, yes. Yesterday he had the pith helmet with the little spike up on top. So again, you've got some swap out elements. Okay, cool colors.
Yes.
In that metal.
Yes.
But again, that lava-like warm.
Yeah.
So a neat blend of the colors, you know, when we get to cool and warm, really giving these bases a lot of life.
I really like when we go back down to the base that it's not just, yes, we have, you know, the scales here, but there's also some distress and crackling throughout the foundation of it as a part of the design. And I think that's just a nice little detail. It's on the grayscale as well.
Yeah, the Snake Mountain base is on both of these, continuing those on there. He is pretty intense looking. That's a small portrait of a face underneath there, but there's a lot of detail and a lot of great paintwork on there. Tweeter had knocked it out of the park with that one there. Now we're going to get to the good guys.
The good guys.
The good guys. And I think when you and I looked around real quick,
yes,
this was probably one of the first that caught your eye.
Absolutely.
So I want you to jump on talking about this guy.
I mean, it is tall. There's a lot of motion happening. We've got He-Man leaping into action. He's got his axe ready, his steed ready to pounce. And I love pieces that are in motion. You were talking about pieces telling a story earlier. This tells a story, and where he is just, I mean, there's no hands. He's not holding on to anything because he's got a shield and an axe in his hands just riding into battle.
Now this is with a Castle Grayskull base, and we're getting that green color of it. Now, we talked about with Lockjaw that we had the different swap out portrait. On He-Man, if you were watching yesterday, he had the sword. Now we have the axe, and you see that it has the sword, that sheath that'll go onto the back. This was one of those, I remember, friends. It was a big deal when they were collecting that, you know, oh, I have my He-Man, and oh yeah, but I have the, and getting his ride was a big to do. Now my sister, on the other hand, was very excited when she got the young lady next to He-Man here.
Teela, just looking, first of all, as lovely as ever, and also very intimidating.
Yeah, exactly, right? This base here, again, the bases for statues begin the story, they bring you into the story, and they help tell and guide the story a lot of times.
Yes.
And this one here, look at that scroll work and the stone cut work, the curled, the broken pillar there, but she's dealing with something there on the side.
Yeah, she's dealing with something on the side.
The tentacled creature there on the side.
Yeah, look out behind you.
Yeah, you might want to pay attention to that. But beautiful work on there, the skin tone paint, and then I like what you talked about with the expression that she's stern and focused.
Yes, just woman on a mission.
Exactly.
And hey, Guy, before we get into our next request, I just want to make a quick correction. Earlier, I called him Lockjaw. That is incorrect. It is Trapjaw.
Trapjaw, that's right.
Trapjaw.
Yes. That's right. I think we each said Lockjaw. Well, we're going to speak so much, we're probably going to wind up having Lockjaw. But I bet you there's more stuff that we're supposed to be looking at. And there, I get a thumbs up from Autumn. Autumn, please tell us, what's our next item?
There sure is. A few different requests. First of all, they want to see the Hot Toys video that we showed yesterday to see those brand new Hot Toys that were revealed, and they want to see the Joker, Harley, and Batman. So whatever order you guys want to do that in.
Well, okay, you know, we're standing over here by Hot Toys, so do we want to run the clip from yesterday's show and get to show you? You got to see some new villain figures by Hot Toys, so why don't we run that now, and then Wendy and I, we can walk over to the Batman and the Joker.
There you go.
All righty, so Sam, would you roll that clip, please?
Well, everyone, the last time you saw all three of them together, Obi-Wan was in deep trouble. But we've got them all here for you. We, of course, have Reva, the Grand Inquisitor, and Darth Vader. We're going to take a closer look at all of them, but we're going to start with Reva. Now, here we have it, the Reva, aka the third sister, again from Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi. Let's take a look at the incredible, newly developed head sculpt. It's got that sculpted hair. It looks just like it's out of the screen. Now, once we move down to the Inquisitor armor, you can see that it's truly got multiple types of mixed media here. The shoulder pads there is made like a harder plastic, and the same thing is on her wrists. Now, when you get down a little bit lower, it's got some faux leather and, of course, that incredible cape that a lot of the Inquisitors carry with them in Obi-Wan Kenobi. Now, there are different types of textures and patterns on the pant and some sculpted elements on the boot. It does look like a faux leather. Now, she rests on top of that traditional black Star Wars base with the nameplate. And let's not forget that incredible dual-sided spinning saber, which will disconnect into two when you bring it into your collection. Now, Hot Toys has developed another new head sculpt, this one of the Grand Inquisitor, as seen in the live-action version of this character in Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi. Now, there is so much texture on this piece, the deep sunken red eyes, as well as those face markings and the tech that he has on his ears. Just like we've seen in the show, he's got this harder material around his armor as well that goes on his wrist gauntlets, sculpted hands. It will come with multiple hands, and that same texture that you see on those shoulders. It's a harder type of material you will see on the side of his leg there as well. He's got multiple types of armor. Now, he does have a really fun element on his belt. It's a reflective material to give the impression that it does light up. Speaking of light up, not only will that saber light up, but the chest will light up. It will come with a breakaway saber, so you can have different pose options. And it will have that motion effect to give that rotation effect that we see in Obi-Wan. Now, again, this is a mixed media piece. It does have a tailored pant. That gray and black is basically the color palette of this figure. Now, for the star of the show is that beautiful cape. It does have a red dotted texture on the inside of the cape, and on the back side of the cape, not only does it have a hood that can be thrown over his head, but it does have that black fabric on the back as well. And it does come with that traditional Star Wars base with the nameplate. This piece needs to be added into your collection. Now, this Darth Vader 6 scale figure is truly unique, starting with this wonderful head sculpt. It's battle damaged. You see remnants of Anakin Skywalker underneath. The eyes there just filled with torment. You can see the gashes on not only the helmet, but underneath on his head. This figure, when you get the deluxe version, will come with the traditional Vader helmet and, of course, this battle damaged version. It is a DLX figure, which means it will have those rolling eyeballs, so you can put it in different types of posing. Now, once we start going down to the rest of the figure, we do see some traditional elements of Darth Vader figures, but there are a lot of fun things on this piece that are truly unique to the Obi-Wan Kenobi version. It will have multiple LED functions from the chest all the way to his iconic lightsaber. Now, Vader does have tailored elements. It is a mixed media piece. The gloves that he has are like a faux leather, which are the same on his arms and on his pants, and right in front of him, right beneath his belt, and on his tabards and cape, that is the same fabric, and it will have a wire on the bottom. You've got that rock base, as we previously saw with the Obi-Wan Kenobi 6 scale figure from the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, so it does have a matching diorama feel. It's truly a unique piece that you need to add into your Star Wars collection. Well, everyone, we hope you truly enjoyed taking a closer look at all three of these villains from Obi-Wan Kenobi. Thank you all so much for watching. May the Force be with you, and don't forget to let your geek side show.
Well, we hope you guys enjoyed that video, and right now we're standing next to the one and only Joker. This, what I like about him is his pose. tells a story, right? This has kind of been the theme that you and I have been
Yeah.
talking about. His inviting, why don't we just, call truce or something like that. He's got this little nonchalant stance, crossing his leg. But if you I'm going to turn this ever so slowly, how much do you trust the Joker? Because one, he's got a little buzzer on his hand.
With a spike.
With a spike, with a nail.
This is, yeah, we're not talking your average wacky hand buzzer here. There are so many details. This is one of those that, as you've talked about with the stance and this and that, you get lost in how much storytelling there is. Let's take a look at the waistcoat and the 4 buttons. Clubs, spades, diamond, heart.
My goodness. The attention to detail.
The little details like that.
Yes.
There on the flower, the incredible paint job that they've done on this. The folds and the texture are all given a lot of work here. Now, yes, up here on his white glove, you can see that's not a clean white glove. It's a little messy. But also, look, at some point, now we're going to spin him around. You're going to see that he's also holding a crowbar in the other hand. But he's at some point probably put the hands in the pockets because we've even got a stain down there.
Joker's been busy.
Exactly.
Whatever he was doing right before this with facing off against the Batman, he's been busy.
Yeah, look at that. We've got 4 batarangs stuck in here. And when Michael goes down and shows those off, we see the skulls and the bubbling acid or other creepy stuff in there. But we also see the great work on those shoes. None of Joker's outfit here is straight from the dry cleaners. There's a lot of grunge. And when we see that, the texture in the leather and the design on that is pretty incredible.
Yes, it
there.
is.
And all of this is sculpted and painted. All of those folds, there's nothing on here that isn't sculpted and painted and designed. As I said, there is that crowbar in the hand. Yeah, it's a very massive. But
this one's also been busy, the crowbar.
And cards up the sleeve here.
Oh my gosh.
Cards up the sleeve. I mean, this guy.
The Joker really is just full of surprises.
And it's neat when you say full of surprises. That's what this statue is. There's so many things going on. I'm looking down at all of the little turn-off valves to everything here. Here on the side, that is some scary chattering teeth.
Yes, it's got legs.
It's got little legs and all.
It's coming for you, guy.
Just
wait till I'm
going
to turn the turntable all the way around back to you.
Yeah, we're doing this at New York Con. This seems like a spooktacular kind of thing. But, but he is incredible. Next to him, wow.
Yes.
You've probably seen some light hitting the side of the Joker figure, and that is coming off, boom.
The Batman.
That blast.
Oh, huge, imposing. Meaning business. You know what I am really enjoying about, just kind of furthering along a theme of storytelling, and we saw previously on the Joker, yes, it is all sculpted, but there's a lot of distress, and these guys have been battling, so you can see the scratches, the damages, the battle worn, and even on the knee here.
Yes,
it's
we're
knee
seeing
open.
fresh wounds there on the, and we're going to try and turn this and get so many angles on this one here. You've got, the elbows on his suit have been worn down, ripped, and we're seeing the skin through there. You're seeing there on the knees. Look at that huge illuminated blast. Now, this is depicting in a 3D style that famous cover of the Frank Miller comic.
Right over here, if I turn it this way.
And I'm sure there are those that are going to be rewatching this at home, and probably if you go frame by frame, you will be able to stop it at just the right point and get that cover look there. Down here, we have the Joker up here. Look at him down here. Incredibly creepy.
Oh my gosh.
In that stone. We talked about the engineering and this unique new angle style. Let's remember, this is an illuminated blast, this lightning bolt, and he's, let's just say, levitating.
Yes.
On the thing there. Again, I don't know how they do it. I don't need to know how they do it. All I need to know is when and how I can pre-order, which I believe I can do by following the short link below.
Very nicely done. That's where, excuse me, can you please click purchase on this as well? Thank you.
Definitely a piece that is going to be the talk about.
This one needs its own coffee table as well,
this is another, yes, we're going to try and partner with a coffee table creator about this. Now, this is when it's illuminated, but even when not lit up, it is going to be incredible.
It is incredible all around. And if you guys want to know a little bit more about this piece at 3 p.m., make sure you are staying tuned in because we will have an artist interview with the creators of this piece, Danny Bell and Bernardo Esquivel, at 3 p.m. today.
Yeah, I have a feeling that's going to be when you're going to get to talk about, hey, how the heck do you get it to balance?
Exactly,
like
because
that.
the math isn't mathing for me.
Yeah, we're talking a huge angle here, and to be illuminated, which means it can't be like a solid steel beam. So again, how they do it, I don't know. All I know is I want it.
And we can stay tuned in at 3 p.m. for that artist
I'm watching
interview.
later on.
Autumn, what do we have next for request?
Okay.
Oh, wait, I'm so sorry. I forgot Autumn already told us earlier.
Yes.
Harley.
She already said it, and I just forgot.
Harley. Margot Robbie brought so much to this character, and we've got to see her in multiple of films, either as kind of shining and being the focus of the film or in a support role. And so you're always loving any time that she pops in. And this was from Suicide Squad. Wonderful design. I love the expression. This is Margot Robbie.
Yes.
I mean, and where I'm really getting it that it's Margot Robbie is actually in the bright eyes. In that look. I'm looking at her now from this angle and seeing it through the strands of the hair there, but the eyes are popping it in, and I go, yep, I know exactly who that is. Not only actress, but I know who it is character-wise.
Exactly, and I love that she's, playfully pulling on her braid, and big bright smile, the bright eyes you're talking about. There's a lot of details in this piece as well. If you kind of take a look at her gloves, since the camera's right there, you were talking about earlier, the Joker has the 4 buttons. On the knuckles of these gloves that she's wearing also have the 4 suites of the cards.
It's pretty wild. I mean, that she's kind of taken on the persona of a Harley Quinn in that the diamond pattern and the cards they're taken throughout. The other kind of fun one is we have this large base in the back that you kind of forget, wait a second, that's saying the name.
Yes.
The diamond over here and the melting and the bright colors that are with that. And we're spinning that around here. Now this is a motto I live by.
Live fast,
die clown. I just don't have it on a jacket.
Well, we have to fix that. We'll have to get you the jacket.
But take a look at the boots. Take a look at the boots. Again, these look like real laces. There are little details like this that always get me in statues, 6 scale, anything. When you scale down something like a shoelace and it looks like an actual
you want to tie
little
it for
tiny
her.
shoe. Yeah, you're like, oh, yeah, let's tighten that up there. You don't want to slip. That leather look on there, the paint, we're going to get those brass eyelets that we get in kind of a hiking boot with quite an impressive heel there.
Yes. Can you believe she fights?
Yeah, exactly.
In these?
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing.
And here I am always looking for a really good pair of running shoes, and she's doing this. The Harley Quinn there.
Oh my gosh, I had missed that
the
earlier.
HQ,
Thank you for pointing that out.
I just now saw that as we spun it.
My goodness, I was too focused on the detailing on the spear.
Yeah, Michael is I know he's doing great on these close-ups, but the etching that goes throughout that spear and down onto the points, and this is a very impressive statue. We've got it on a bit of a rise here, but this is probably a 22, 24-inch statue. Again, little things like that are in those product descriptions, so follow those short links below to get ones like that, and also get to pre-order. Don't miss out. Don't do what I do, where I always say one of the phrases, and I kick myself for not getting that. I do that a lot, and I don't want you people to do that at home. So now is your opportunity to do it.
Absolutely.
Autumn, where are we wandering?
Okay, before we go on to the next request, do we happen to have any brand new hot toys that we could show today?
You know, I'm glad that you bring that up, Autumn. We just saw 3 of the Star Wars villains from the Disney Plus show Obi-Wan. Right now, we're going to show you 3 villains from Spider-Man. Can we roll that clip now, Sam? All right.
Hello, multiversal travelers. Boy, are we excited to show you guys 3 iconic villains from Spider-Man No Way Home. We've got Doc Ock, Green Goblin, and Electro. We can't believe we've got all of them here. So let's take a closer look, starting with Electro. We've got Max Dillon, aka Electro. First off, that likeness to Jamie Foxx is insane. It looks so good. Now let's move on to the body of the figure. You can see chain lightning that you'd place on top of it, as Hot Toys has done before to recreate Electro's powers. He's got that inhibitor that Peter Parker creates for him on his chest, with actual posable cables that go down around the torso, around the arms, down to his legs. The jacket is a fabric as well as the pants, and on the jacket it actually has a working zipper. There's no need to call on a multiversal wizard. You can just go to Sideshow.com when you're ready to add this piece into your collection. Now in Spider-Man No Way Home, Peter Parker faces villains from all over the multiverse, but none more vicious than the Green Goblin, Norman Osborn himself. Let's take a look at that face sculpt. You can see those teeth, those gold eyes, those goblin ears with that iconic helmet. Of course, he's green. It's in the name, but there are so many different types and textures of green on the knee pad, on his thighs, the abdomen, chest piece, and the undersuit as well. He's got that gold going all the way up the body, keeping the suit together. But let's take a look at this glider. You can see that the Green Goblin is strapped in. He's got the straps over his right and left foot. It will key in, of course, the purple. It's a different texture than all of that weathered metal on the rest of the glider. Underneath, there are some really fun mechanics as well. There are some missiles under there. Hot Toys included this dual level dynamic flight stand, so you can really have some fun with the posing of this piece. Now, whether you've got an entire rogues gallery for your Spider-Man collection, it's not going to be complete without the Green Goblin 6-scale figure. And here he is, everyone, the Doc Ock 6-scale figure by Hot Toys. Look at the likeness of Alfred Molina portraying Dr. Otto Octavius. He's got those glasses, he's got sculpted hair, and that smug grin. Now there are a ton of layers, that overcoat with buttons, working pockets. He's got a coat underneath that feels like a faux leather. That gray turtleneck, the pants are tailored. This is the deluxe version. The deluxe version only will come with 4 additional nanotech tentacles. Now, they are posable, they are bendable, they've got so much articulation. We've got another unique base. It's got a raised text that says Doc Ock, Spider-Man No Way Home. You're gonna need to clear off quite a bit of space when you add this into your collection. All right, everyone, we hope you enjoyed taking a trip around the multiverse and taking a look at all of these villains individually. If you have any questions or you want to know any product details, just follow their individual links or head to Sideshow.com. Thank you all so much for watching, and don't forget to let your geek side show.
Well, right before we go into this next item, what was your favorite villain from the video we just saw?
From the video we just saw,
Yes.
I'm really excited to get a Doc Ock.
Ooh, of course.
There's a lot going on with that. I loved him in the second film and how they really did that. There was that friendship that turned
Yes.
between he and Peter. So I really dig on that, and I'm going to be curious to see how it works and how it moves around. And that's, you know, I'm glad that we're finally getting it.
Me too.
Now, there's one other thing that people have asked. We asked Autumn while you were watching that video, what did people want to see? And this next item was something they really wanted to see.
Yes.
And that is the stealth suit Captain America by Hot Toys. And now this is from Endgame. Now this stealth suit was seen before that we got a chance to see him in Winter Soldier. And it's one of the most loved suits. And so this is an opportunity for those who go, shucks, I kick myself for not getting that, to get this one,
Yes.
to get this one here. And it is going to have those swap out faceplates that we've been getting to see with the different Captain America figures, where that lower part is magnetic, swaps out. We're going to get a Steve Rogers portrait. Of course, the famous shield.
Of course.
And I love the bright shine in that dynamic stand. There's so much about this figure. This is one that people have really, really wanted, and it's one that eluded a number of people. And so when you get an opportunity like this to get those things again, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
There's another guy that they said people wanted to see. And this was a guy who was very excited to get his suit back.
Oh, yes. And he sits
and
now.
to get a throne.
And on a throne. So let's go ahead and walk over to our next piece here. You guys requested. We're bringing him to you. It is the one and only Boba Fett on his throne. Jetpack's just chilling, hanging out next to him. He doesn't need it right now because he's sitting on a throne, but he's still got his guard up, helmet at the ready, and gun at the ready as well.
This is a beautiful, beautiful figure. We got to do a first look video on this, and I'm going to ask Michael to get as close as he can on the zoom there on the helmet. Now, one of my favorite figures is actually a 2-pack that came out earlier this year of Boba Fett, where he's kind of wandering and has just learned from the Tusken Raiders, and then when he gets his armor back, and that armor is all really seriously damaged. Well, Boba's not the guy to, oh, I'm going to sandblast it down to bare metal before I repaint
Yes.
it. It looks like what he decides to do is just run it with a roller
Yes.
over it. So you're getting all of that paint that had chipped before there with a layer over it, and it just gives it a unique depth and a new life to it, which is what he was doing. He was kind of, you know, giving it new life. However, things that he wasn't doing, he's never removed that dent.
No, he's never removed
that
it.
was, and there's a lot of speculation about the learning aspect that he had on that, and why he kept that dent. When we talk about the jetpack, yes, that is a magnetic jetpack.
Ooh.
I also like that there is the repair done on the jetpack, and that he painted over the repair. Now, because remember, he gets it hit in Return of the Jedi, so we've got there. The throne is like a rotocast throne, good and solid, but not incredibly heavy. So yes, it will fit in your display case if you're, you know, if you have that, but you don't have to worry about the weight being, I'm a little nervous about that. Beautiful texture on that one there. Now we have him sitting on there, but if you had him standing next to it, you actually can see a little through there. I like the little rancor.
Yes. On the side.
I was going to say cherubs, but that's not really a cherub, is it? It was a horrific cherub, if that was your cherub. But and a beautiful, beautiful portrait on there. And then now this is slightly different than the portrait we've seen before with the other 2-pack, and that is because for those who watched the show, we know that he spent a little time in the Bacta tank and a little bit of healing going on with that.
There's a lot of fun bits that you just gave us in there, especially painting over the damaged armor, just so it can just look, you know, the same color. So he can be ready to walk the streets as the next daimyo.
Yes, yes. You know, throwing on and being able to throw on a good helmet. Throwing on a good helmet. You could throw on this gold helmet.
I have to. I know it's a fan request, but I saw this and I begged and I begged. Guy, please can we take a look at this Wonder Woman that is behind me, because the wingspan is so impressive on this golden armor. I love Wonder Woman. This is my girl, and this is obviously Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman in Wonder Woman 1984. Just look at the wings, the shine of it, and I like the pose. I know it's very classic.
This is,
but it's Wonder Woman.
It is a very classic pose, and we see her in that. Yeah, this makes a very brief appearance in the film. Now we're showing off the deluxe, which has the expanded wing.
The deluxe,
now
you say.
in the deluxe, you'll have the expanded wing, but you'll also have a closed wing design that can be attached on there. She's going to have a dynamic flight stand. There is a special hook that you see there, which will be able to hold the wing when you're on it. That helmet can be removed. It's an all-new head sculpt. There really looks absolutely spectacular. It is rooted hair, and that's kind of what you see coming out of the side there. I love the side glance that she's got. This is not a straight on look. Now, if I wanted to have it straight looking at the person that, you know, is checking out the figure in my display, yeah, you can turn that head. Or it's the, I've just kicked somebody's tush, now I'm off to the next guy. I love this piece. You talked a little earlier about the color scheme. The color scheme of the posters and things like that we saw, the promotional material for Wonder Woman 1984, had a lot of those bright colors.
Yes.
And here with these pillars that allow us to have different lighting, look at how it's catching the light. If you have those LED strip lights or any of the things like that that are going to allow you to get color, look at how like the pinks are in that right wing reflecting up. Beautiful texture on here. And that's not just solid. It does have, there are areas that are very, very shiny, some that are a little bit more matte on the gold. And so it breaks up that light and allows things to really pop.
Yeah, I really like the different textures that we're seeing on this. And so it's not really, you know, at first glance, you think, well, that's a lot of gold, but then upon closer look, there's different textures, details. Her bracers are obviously not gold because they're silver, and then the leggings on her as well, completely different texture.
Yeah, and that kind of a bronzy color there. See, this is, again, we keep using phrases like, you know, conversation piece.
Yes.
You're not going to have something with a wingspan like this, and no one coming over to your home wants to talk about that.
So now we know we have to have at least 3 to 4 coffee tables in our homes. You know, one for Aeon Flux, for Wonder Woman, for the Batman and Joker, and for Zatanna.
I make sure to pick her up. Anytime you can hit that deluxe, we do it. Autumn, where should we wander to now?
Okay, so they would like to see that Fulgore and that Critical Role collection, please.
All right, all right.
Now this is, want to say, conversation starter.
Yeah.
This is it. There's lasers or blasts coming out of the eye. We've got a superpower stance ready for battle.
That is definitely a hero. I like that it's an all metal suit with all of this, that, and the other, but make sure the hair can come out, because you don't want to cringe the hair in there. You want to have that beautiful metallics in this one here. In this, I'll call it silver down here and on the front there, it has kind of more of a matte. But then this under has a little shine to it, almost a little bluing to it.
Yes, it's not like just a full gray. There is definitely a depth to this one, and I really like the base as well. It is, you know, it looks like it's been through some stuff.
Yeah,
I wish we had a turning
thingy
for
this
so
one
you
here.
see
We'll see if maybe we can that we have you know, 2 different kind of metal grates and great paintwork with, you know, kind of the rust and the dings. We're going to have that dirt. You are going to have your nameplate there. But even on the side, as I was looking and you were talking about that, we're seeing kind of the construction of it. I'm like, oh, is that the dirt underneath? And a lot going on. And as you said, that's one heck of a power pose.
That's a wide stance.
Yes, there is a translucency to both the weapons that are on the forearms as well as the blast coming out of the face mask there. So that's going to catch some light depending on how you illuminate it. We luck out with having these pedestals with the illumination. But the neat part is that not only can people find these pedestals, but there are a lot of great ways now to be able to light these up. For a long time, lighting your collection was very difficult, and now there's so many.
Now you have a lot of choices.
So many options, and it's critical what you choose.
Critical.
To light your stuff.
It is your turn.
Speaking of critical things.
Yes, Autumn let us know that you guys have been asking for the Critical Role collection. You're seeing 2 different campaigns here. These 4 figures, we've got Vex, Groth, Vax, and Keyleth. This is obviously from Vox Machina. And then we have Beauregard, and we have, blanking on his name right now. I'm sorry, Travis. I'm forgetting. Thank you. From the second campaign, the Mighty Nine. So I have been trying to budget how I am going to collect every single one of them. I have seen these multiple times, and every single time I'm just digging into my wallet and thinking, I just need another one, right? I love Keyleth. We were talking about this earlier.
Yeah.
There's just the cape on her, and she's a druid, so we're embracing all the woodsy goodness. But the fact that it's almost like she's wearing all 4 seasons on her back.
Yeah, we've got a kind of an autumnal look there with the red and the yellows, but then up into the bright green. So we kind of have that evolution of leaf there throughout. I love the antlers here, but then we've got that hint of nature going on with the flowers up around there. Beautiful portrait. Looking up at the magic that she is creating.
Yes.
We are going to have that staff. Again, still has those elements of, I'm going to say elements of earth, but elements of that, where we're getting the blues and the greens throughout the magic down on the base. And now, most of the time with the bases, we are seeing the campaign they're from.
Yes.
This one here, it's a little hidden.
It's a little hidden.
It's a little hidden because of that tree.
Yes.
Now, if we pan straight down, we see, yes, that's right, it's a balded person with a beard.
It is
Now, this
Grog.
balded person with a beard is slightly different from the in-studio host because this one hits the gym a lot.
I feel like, Guy, next year we gotta up
yes.
your costume game.
Yeah, I will up my
Bring this to
costume game
life.
and how much I can bench press.
You already
apparently,
you already have
in
the
order to do
beard.
this.
We'll just like affix a couple of arrows into you.
Yeah, and I think this is. I think we could just do that with some standard primer.
Yes.
A gray primer.
There you go.
But I love that when I talk about kind of that gray look, because then the little hints of color really pop out. The red down in the cloth that's the front, or the red of the blood of these recently hit arrows. This guy's 1, 2 in the leg. I'd be down already. 2 in the chest, and 1, 2, 3
Oh
in
my!
the
I
back.
didn't even see the ones in the back.
Yeah,
Well, he is
and-
raging, so he's probably going
and
to be
still
okay.
going, and still going.
Yeah.
You know, this is a character in Critical Role is kind of a new thing for me. Amy's teaching me a lot about that, and I think she thought I would really like this character because she said he's not the brightest in the bunch, and I think so. She was like, not the brightest in the bunch, bald beard. This is Guy's thing. So,
A barbarian is actually a lot of fun to play. I have in some of the personal campaigns I played, have played barbarian, and they're a lot of fun. And just to the left of Grog, we have Vex and Vax, the twins. Starting with her first, the dynamic pose, of course. She's got her arrow knocked and ready to shoot. And then we have her twin right in the back, daggers, 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 at the
Yes.
ready as well.
I like the playfulness
Yes.
of the expression on him. There's an upturned smile. He's definitely digging on it. Love the wings there. And again, that hint of the different materials. We're going to have the feathers. We're going to have the kind of fur up there, but then we've got the metal underneath and leather and cloth, and all of that is accomplished by the paint scheme. On hers, we're getting that metal down on the guards of the shin, leather there on the boots,
Yes.
cloth for the pant. And when you have what appears to the eye to be different materials, oh, that's silk.
Yes.
Oh, that's leather. And you're like, no, that's porcelain with a lot of really great paint.
Yes.
And things like that. It's really neat to see what can be done. And these are spectacular.
She is fabulous, darling. And before we move on to the next, I just want to quickly point over to Bo and Ford from the second campaign, which is the Mighty Nine. I love these characters so much because campaign 2 is when I actually started watching their live streams. So I really fully fell in love with their characters and their journey. So we got Bo and all of her abs in her amazing cobalt blue outfit. Ready, she's a monk, so she's got the staff, she's got the Fist of Fury and ready to go. And then we have Ford, sword at the ready, in a dynamic pose as well. And the coloring is absolutely gorgeous.
I like the bases on these, and I'm curious. We have them kind of separated, but I'm wondering if they kind of fit together. That you get the hint of that multi-sided die kind of thing next to it. It looks as though that's almost something you'd be able to pull off.
You're telling me that I have to collect all of them. Luckily, Sideshow has a payment plan.
They do.
So please purchase for me, and I will let you know once I have received all of them if they do indeed.
If you can indeed kind of twist and turn the bases that they all link together.
Somehow I will. I know we got a wingspan over here, and we've got Grog.
I think depending on what two flat sides you put next to each other.
We just got to figure out the configuration, but I think it can be done.
It's just configuration.
I think it can be done. Guy, that was so much fun. There is so much goodness.
There's so much.
My
There's
wallet, just throw it away.
Yeah.
Give it a Sideshow.
Well, you talked about it, and it is neat that
Yes.
Sideshow does offer a lot of payment plans, a lot of different opportunities.
Helpful.
So, a lot of times people, I want to pre-order, but I'm nervous. Well, what am I? there's always a way. And Sideshow is great about making sure that you can. And that's been fantastic for me. Well, it has been great to see it, but there's so much more going on.
Yes.
Autumn, would you please tell us what we got going on?
So much. We have so much going on. Okay, so we are going to be, can we get the schedule up again, Sam? We can go over the rest of today's schedule, and then we'll talk about what we're going to see tomorrow. Okay, so today we still have a flash giveaway at noon. We've got the desk show, which is right here where I'm sitting with Alex and Jesse. They're going to be bringing you all kinds of really cool content, including some artist interviews. Then at 4 o'clock on our YouTube channel, there's going to be an NFT panel, which is going to be amazing. And then at 5 o'clock in the Facebook group only, side.show/geek group, we're going to do the daily wrap-up. So just so you guys know, today is the last day of this booth setup. Tomorrow we are going to have a different booth setup, so you're going to come back for a new tour tomorrow. Thank you so much to Guy and Wendy for that amazing tour. Yes, you guys were so good. And we will catch you guys at the 2 o'clock show right here. Thanks so much, guys. And as always, don't forget to let your geek side show. Nicely done.